Okay, today what I'm going to show you is to log in to the Chase Data cloud-based contact center and dialer solution. So I'm going to go ahead and using my login credentials. And as you can see, I'm now logged in. And when you first log into the cloud-based contact center solution, you'll notice that we have a dashboard right here. This dashboard up top is your outbound dashboard. So it tells you how many reps that are on outbound calls. So right now we have 22 total agents making outbound calls, and we have 4 reps waiting for calls. We have 11 reps that are on pause, and then we have 6 reps that are on calls and 2 reps that are doing dispositions. So you can see it from here, and also you can see it from here. Now, as you can see, where it shows the little triangle here, it shows these are the campaigns that are running. So we have a T&B campaign with Kelly that's logged in. She's logged into the T&B campaign, and that she's been on the phone. She's been waiting for a call for about 46 seconds. This one's been waiting for a call for about a minute, owner's preview. And then these reps here are actually on the call. So Doug, who was in the T&B campaign, he's connected on a call for about 8 minutes. And you notice how his color is set green where the other ones are set a different color, because you can have it in settings, or you can have different cues be set for, like in other words, if you want to set it for on the call queue, let's say on a call, if it's over 2 minutes, it would turn green. So anybody that's been speaking for over 2 minutes, it would turn a different color. So you have a bunch of settings here on how you want to see your dashboard, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to just take this off. Okay. So not only you can see what your reps are doing and how long and what campaigns they're in, or if they're on break. Notice here we can also set time thresholds. If someone's been on break for longer than a certain time period, it will turn a different color to alert the manager. We can also monitor reps. You notice I can just go ahead and hit connect, and then I can have different modes. I can do a listen only, I can do a coach and pupil, and I can do a barge. And all I have to do is just pick the rep, and I can just start monitoring them. Now we can also do a screen sharing where I can actually see what the reps are doing. I can just silently screen share and see what they're doing on their agent screen, see if they're going on, Facebook or YouTube or some of those other websites and so forth. So I'm able to monitor the agents not only on their phone calls but also on their screens, and I'm able to see what's going on in real time. Now, over here, this is called our inbound dashboard. So if you're taking incoming calls, well, guess what? You can also see all the different, campaigns that are running, how many calls you received, how many were handled by the reps, how many were handled by the AVR, how many abandoned. So this is an inbound dashboard. If you're doing a lot of inbound, it's a good way to see, how many reps do I have available, how many calls are coming in. So it also gives you an inbound dashboard. Okay. And then we have also some more metrics down here to see. I can go ahead and move this up here. And we have other metrics that says each agent, how many calls, the average talk time, and their activity and stuff like that. The nice thing about this is you can kind of move the your modules around a little bit. And here's some more stuff, tells you how many calls and the activity between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and I can expand this and stuff like that to get some more details. But so this is a really nice dashboard that kind of gives me an idea of what's happening here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move over to the accounts. So normally whenever you want to create an account, you have to add in administration accounts or admin accounts. So I'm going to go ahead here. These are all my different admin accounts. So everything here that we set is pretty much in a table format. So you can create your admin accounts, give them the roles, whether they're the administrator or manager. And we have different roles, for example. So, this one's a supervisor. They can be a monitor. So there's different roles for people to seeing the same information, but in a different way. All right. And then, of course, you have your agent accounts where you can create your reps accounts. You give them the username and password and then the skill that they're logged into. And then this is another important feature of our dialer is our call center product is how to create campaigns. So I'm going to go ahead to the create and manage campaign. So I go here. And then as you can see, these are all my different campaigns. And then these are some of the campaigns that are active over here. and then it will, in a couple seconds or so, it should display with all the information. So right now it's calculating. Here you go. So now it's just brought up all the data, and it tells me how many total records we have, how many are non-callable, how many are available, how many are total available. So it also gives me a thing called what we call available now, which is pretty cool. So if we're in a particular time zone, I know I have available leads, but I don't know how many available now. I can just click on this and it'll say, oh, you have 200 available now for this campaign here. Each one of these is a campaign. You can also look at the settings inside the campaign by simply right-clicking on your mouse and then just selecting Open Campaign. So when I open the campaign up, I get to see the campaign profile, if there's a script behind it, and these are all the settings. This is the settings I call everything that's pretty much under the hood. So I can set my lines per agent to however many lines I want. In this case, I guess it's 8 lines. I can set my drop rate to 1%. I can tell it the hours of dialing. So these are all the settings that you would need when you're doing your outbound dialing campaign. If you're doing inbound, so this is set up for an outbound, and if you set it for an inbound campaign, then you'd have all the inbound settings. It can also be a blended campaign, and we also have virtual outbound campaigns where there's no reps logged in, and we also have virtual blended campaigns where campaigns are being used where reps are logged into other campaigns. So it's so we have the concept of virtual, and it works really good. So these are your campaign settings. And then, of course, here we have what we call the group settings. These are what we call the default settings, right? Rather than recreate these settings every time you build a campaign, you can just build them upon the characteristics of the group settings. Yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and move into, really quickly, I'm going to move into dispositions, how you can create or add dispositions. Pretty straightforward. These are the dispositions for all campaigns. And you can have dispositions assigned to certain campaigns too. So some campaigns can have certain dispositions or not. The nice thing I like to show about this is the location of the dispositions. You notice that left menu here. That means these are quick dispositions without the rep hitting the disposition window. And I'll show you more of that when I show you the agent application. We also have custom data where we can build your own custom fields, custom tables. So you just simply click create a field. You click here to create your field names. You can give them a field type and stuff like that, so you can store different fields in your database, and you can have as many tables as you need. And then here, of course, you have your lead import, where you can just import your data. You can import your DNCs. And then, of course, we have your outbound dialing metrics, for example. So if I want to prioritize certain campaigns to be dialed. So for example, let me pick the Casper campaign, or let me go here, Casper 2. So you notice here, these are the lists within the Casper 2 campaign. And I can also have it set where it allows me to, let me go here, see if I have something. Let me see. So yes, I can have the campaigns, the lists that I need to dialed over here. So I can segment what lists, and I can also do it by what we call sub-campaign utilization, where I can, let me go to a different campaign that doesn't have that many. So here, if I was to give it a utilization, so you notice that I can change the percentage of dialing on each one of these campaigns if I give it a utilization. So I can go, I want to dial 10% of this, 9% of that, and so forth, up to 100%. So this is a nice way of allowing me to manage how many leads I want to call from within a campaign. And then we have other methods called the grab bag method that is just dials pretty much from the biggest list. All right, and then of course we have our search function here that allows me to search my entire database. So if we have what we call quick searches. You can search by phone number, or you can do an advanced search where you can actually pick a campaign, or I can pick multiple campaigns by holding down my control key. So here, for example, I'm going to pick 2 campaigns. I'm just going to hit search, and it's actually pulling up quite a bit of number of records. It's almost 362,000. That's a lot of records. Let's see how fast it pulls up. 362,148. So you can just see the sheer power of the speed of the system. Let's give it a second here too. Almost halfway done there. And the reason why I'm doing that is I want to show you how you can easily access your data and to be able to search it. And once we pull it, you'll be able to see how fast I can scroll down through the list. This is kind of bold move by just grabbing 362,000 records, but let's see what happens. I'll give it another 10 seconds or so, and we'll see. Yeah, there you go. Now it's going to display those 362,000 records. And there you have it. And then, of course, I can scroll down. And look how fast I can scroll down those records. These are all those records. See? And then, of course, we have our filters where you can do additional searches by the filters. This is almost like an Excel spreadsheet. Now, I can also change the information of any of these records. So let's say if I pick this one, or if I want to grab these records, I can just simply click over here and I can update those records, and you see, notice I only selected 8 based on my selection. I can update those records to a certain call status, or I can update it to a certain campaign or a list. So, and I can do what we call mass update. So this is a really good feature to have. Okay, so advanced search, and I can also right mouse and do other things, like I can export it, I can email those leads, I can delete them. So you have other functions that may be performed within your search criteria. Here I'm going to describe about the inbound. So in inbound, we create your inbound voice prompts, like press 1 for sales, press 2 for support, and you can create your own voice prompts. Here I have it set for, you can create your queues. So if there are no available operators, you can upload a greeting message. We have different events for if you're waiting for a rep, you can have a different message. So this is how you set up your voice response for your inbound, and then you can also prioritize and route your calls. So let's say priority 1 skill, I may have these lines or these phone numbers available. So these numbers are only available to this priority 1 skill, and it goes into the collections, so to speak, campaign. So you can assign what numbers go to which skill, and then you can also give it a priority. So if you want these reps to get these calls from these numbers, you can assign the priority over other skills within the same group. Okay. And then, of course, you have your recordings, which is really cool. You can listen to your recordings. So I can just select my recordings by campaign. So if we had a campaign called Casper 2 or all campaigns, I can just do a search. And it's going to pull up 1,300 records. Let's see how fast it does. So it just pulls up. And then I can actually play the actual recording. I can listen to it. And then I can also rate the recording, giving it a couple of stars here. And then not only that, but I can also put notes on it. So if I want to put a note that says, hey Susan, maybe next time to discuss or to offer customer the promotional package. So this would just be an idea. And then I could notify the agent. So then the agent can reply back to me without me having her to move away from her desk and to explain to her. So, and this note and the recorded call, she can actually listen to it. So she can refer back to it, and then she could put notes on it. And I'll show you how to do that on my other video. So yeah, you can hit notify agent, and they'll get your note and the actual recorded call. So this makes it really good when you're monitoring and coaching reps to say the right things and so forth. So this is a really good tool to do that in this purpose. And then, of course, we have reports here. So we have a slew of reports: agent analysis report, agent summary, agent call detail. So if I go to my agent analysis report, here's a pretty standard report. Let's pull it up here. And it tells me each agent that logged in, which campaign they logged into, how many hours worked, how many contacts they made, contacts per hour, leads, appointments, callbacks, average talk times here, their average wait times. So some of them are waiting 12 seconds, some of them are waiting 51 seconds, depending on the campaign they're in. And then pause time, wrap up time, and logged in time. So even if you logged in for 3 hours, you only work 2 hours, 2.8 hours versus 3 hours and 16 minutes because you were on break for 30 minutes. So that's how that hours worked, is based on his hours actually worked but not on break. And then we have some other reports. Let's look at the campaign summary. Let's take a look at the campaign call log, or let's take a look at another report. And let me pick a campaign. Let's say the Casper 2 campaign, and we're going to see what it did. So I'm just going to hit refresh. So since we started at 9 o'clock all the way to pretty much 2:15, we can see how many calls were made and how many calls were connected based on the number of calls made and calls connected. It's kind of even. And it just kind of gives you the volume of calls that the system made based on the availability of the reps. And then here, we can get some more metrics that says what happened. We had, a certain percentage of answer machines and connected parties. We had this stuff here that was more of answer machines in the orange. So it kind of gives us an idea what all the different dispositions were and what the volume, how the volume of connected calls looked like throughout the day. Okay. And then we have some more reports here. You're more than welcome to take a look at. And then we also have a support system here where you can have a help center where you can look at documentation. And also we have a live chat where you can just do a live chat with one of our reps. You can also submit a ticket for requests or issues that you may have. And let me just exit out of here. Oh, I don't want that. And then we have the, I don't want billing. Let's get out of billing. And then I'm going to go ahead and log out. That's pretty much what we've described about the product. If there's any questions, please give us a call back or visit our website at www.chasedatacorp.com or bettercallcenters.com. Thanks and have a great one.